Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
Joining us is Acting U.S. Labor Secretary Julie Su. Acting Labor Secretary Su, thank you so much for your time this morning. We've heard from the reports. The Fed would seem to be happy with this kind of jobs report. The market is certainly happy. It's this Goldilocks, potentially softening to have a landing of this economy, to a soft landing. What we're seeing right now with this softer report and the markets certainly taking it in stride. Is that the consensus as well in the read from the Biden administration?
Yes, that's exactly right. This is another strong jobs report, and these numbers just keep showing us month after month that President Biden's economic strategy is working. It's everything you said. It continues to be strong, stable growth, sustainable growth as well. The unemployment rate is still under 4%. That's the 27-month straight that is the case. And the prime age labor force participation rate remains strong. It ticked up a little bit. And for women, it's the highest it has been since this number's been recorded, which was begun in 1948. So this is a strong jobs report that continues to be indicative of a very strong economy.
Well, this is what we heard from Chair Powell earlier this week. Quote, strong job creation over the past year has been accompanied by an increase in the supply of workers, reflecting increases in participation among individuals aged 25 to 54 years and the continued strong pace of immigration. How much do you see immigration playing into the supply side of this labor market?
It's all part of the story. Immigrant workers have, throughout our nation's history, helped to power our economic strength. At the same time, what these numbers show is that the jobs for native-born workers remains very, very strong as well. So when you have such sustained job growth, there is really, it's beneficial for everybody.
Well, we do have a lot of immigration. The CBO, of course, looks at 2023, when they thought maybe it was going to be 1 million, immigration actually at 3.3 million. But how do you match that supply to demand, especially if these are a lot of undocumented workers? How do we match the supply of potentially, are they going to the right jobs and the demand the U.S. labor market actually needs?
I mean, this is something that the Department of Labor is laser focused on every day, is making sure that we are connecting people to the good jobs that they want and need, especially in this moment of such historic job growth, not happening just by accident. It's happening because of the resilience of the American people, because of the small business boom that we're seeing, because of working people. You know, the president says all the time, it's the middle class that built America. Unions built the middle class because of strong growth for unions. And it's also happening because we are seeing people coming into the labor market. And so this is a moment where we have to be able to connect people to those jobs and employers to the people that they need. And that's why our workforce development system is so important, and why when I travel the country and I see training programs that are bursting at the seams, it's another indication that this economy is moving in the right direction and that Bidenomics is having a positive effect in communities all across America.
The survey response rate, though, for this report was 54.9%, the lowest, Julie, since 2002. How accurate, then, are these numbers?
Well, the Bureau of Labor Statistics remains the gold standard for reporting on unemployment, on job growth, on different industries. It is the largest body of data that exists. And let me just say, the numbers tell part of the story. I mean, the numbers remain reliable. They remain, what is relied upon to evaluate our policies and also to look at what new policies we should be pursuing. But the numbers are part of the story. The other is that the president promised that he would build an economy from the bottom up and the middle out. And in the last so under his leadership, we have restored the 40-hour work week for millions of Americans. We are making sure that retirement security is something that all American people can enjoy. We are looking out for workers who've been left behind in the past. I've been in Uniontown, Pennsylvania, talking to mine workers who've had to be exposed to silica dust. I've met with farm workers in California who put food on our tables but have to die in vehicles that are cramped without seatbelts. We are also addressing those issues. And so the overall numbers, again, are part of a story in which President Biden is delivering on his promise to build a strong economy in which everybody can see can play a part in it and see themselves having a secure future.
But back to this survey, that would put the standard error at 130,000. So it could be 305,000 or 45,000. Anywhere in that range is statistically accurate. How concerning is that, given this data is highly important, not just to the Fed, but also to the president?
No, that's right. I mean, the numbers are reliable. We continue to work on survey response. People sometimes think, well, the numbers get adjusted each month. What is that about? That's also very much part of what we do. It's it's part and parcel of making the numbers as accurate as possible. So sometimes numbers come in later, and that's why we make adjustments. And again, this is the gold standard for a reason, and we do want to continue to increase the response rate that we get.
I just want to end on the fact that wage gains are less than what was expected. And when we continuously poll the American electorate, they're not worried about jobs so much in the sense that they're actually worried about inflation. And if the wages are not keeping up with inflation, how concerning is that to you?
So wage gains continue to outpace inflation. That means that there's more money in workers' pockets. This is obviously, as you say, this is a sign of how good people feel. And a good job changes lives, and a good jobs with wages that are enough to sustain a family are really important. And we continue to combat inflation and high prices. That's why the president's so focused on combating junk fees, on making sure that prescription drugs are affordable, and so it's a whole holistic approach to investing in the American people, and we are on the right track and will continue with the work.
Julie Su, thank you so much for your time this morning. Acting U.S. Labor Secretary, of course, Julie Su.